up and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a story that's kind of in line with the stuff that I do, but I really felt compelled to share this story with you. No, it's not about the presidential election right now, but it does have to do with President Trump and politics and fact versus fiction and how the media likes to spin things. I'm so sorry. I have a little kitten here and he's going crazy. Anyways, what I wanted to talk to you about today was actually a story that I did for Onyx News. So typically I get my stories emailed to me, and then if I know about them, I just do like minimal research. And if I don't know about them, I have to really dig in. And in this particular situation, I got a story, and I'm going to link the full story below so you guys can read the article. But it was about a South Bronx restaurant that is owned and run by Mexican immigrants, okay? And they basically have a restaurant that they have deemed a soup kitchen, but this restaurant is amazing. It has received Michelin acclaim. They serve very like authentic food to their native area of Mexico that they come from. I'm sorry, I don't have that here, but it is in the article. But I wanted to talk about this because I found it extremely interesting how they painted the article that I read. Now, had I not done what I normally do, which is go and research further, not just in one place, but multiple places, I would have never learned what I learned. And I would have read this article and thought, wow, this is really terrible, and just kind of taken it at face value. But it really has a good story to it, and I want to share that with you guys, because one of the main things that I get asked about quite a bit, and one of the main things that President Trump receives a lot of criticism about, is his policy on immigration, and how he's handled it, and why he quote unquote hates immigrants and is racist. And why I, as a Latina woman, support a president who has those types of policies. So, number one, I want to put some context around the policy and where it came from. Also put some context around what President Trump has tried to do from the point that he has taken office until now. And I also want to put a little bit more context around this particular family. So the article revolves around a family by the name of the Saavedra family. The mother is Natalia, the daughter is Yahira, and the son is Marco. They don't mention the father's name in this article or really in any interview that I've seen. I think he kind of chooses to remain a little bit anonymous. But what was really amazing about this family is they are the true epitome of why people want to immigrate to this country, for the opportunities that they are afforded. Now, not in this article, but in the story and the research that I looked into about this family, the mother, Natalia, and her husband actually decided to come to the U.S. only because the city that they lived in Mexico had suffered a terrible, terrible drought. This was back, I think, in 2007 or 2008. They suffered a terrible, terrible drought. It was a farming community, and they were unable to successfully grow their crops and therefore feed themselves, and the communities, were unable to feed themselves. So they were told that there were a lot of manufacturing jobs, factory jobs that were available in the U.S. So somebody told them, hey, if you can get to the U.S., there's work there for you. So that's what they decided to do. They migrated to the U.S. They don't give much detail about how they came, but I do know at this point they are actually like legally in the process to become citizens. They're stuck what's called the DACA program. And they are trying to get their, legal citizenship, but they did come here initially illegally, just the mother and father. Shortly after that, the son and daughter came after them with other family members as well, okay? So I want to put a little bit of context around that to explain to people. So when Obama created the DACA program, and let me see if I have the dates here for that. When Obama created the DACA program back in 2012 is when DACA was created. It was basically to allow for chain migration. Of course, I have a dragon dog in here while I'm trying to film my video. Never mind that. So it was created to allow basically for chain migration, where if you had family members here in the US, whether they were here illegally or not, you could sponsor to bring your family over as long as they were like put in the process to, you know, obtain legal immigration status. The more people you had over here, the better for you. And you could just keep bringing people over and bringing people over and bringing people over. Well, obviously it got out of control because people realized that was the process and they were like, cool. The more people we have here, the more babies we give birth to over here, the more I can start bringing my family over here. Thus was born the dreamers, okay? The people that were brought here as very young children, or their illegal parents gave birth to them here in this country. And, you know, they came here, they're here in this country. This is all they know, but they're not legal citizens, okay? So they're kind of stuck in this in-between where they're not legal, but all they know is an American way of life because they've been here all their life because their parents brought them over here in one way or another. But there has been a continuous argument in Congress to pass bills to protect DACA recipients. So protect them, meaning to, you know, keep them from getting deported. And just like, you know, one day they wake up and they're just like snatched back to Mexico or wherever their family, you know, originated from, and they know nobody there. They have no connections there. They have no means there. And some of them don't even speak Spanish because they've been here all their life. So it has been a constant push and pull in Congress to pass the bill. And the argument is basically over at this point, you know, so Trump came in and he said, listen, you know, we have to do away with this lottery system, which is like, you know, every year, you know, 50,000 people get randomly chosen out of a lottery system and given the opportunity to apply for legal status. We need to eliminate asylum cities. So those cities that are like, you know, like San Francisco, that just, hey, if you want to seek asylum, come here. We'll, you know, keep you safe. Meanwhile, you know, these people are seeking asylum, some of them justly, some of them unjustly, using up resources. Some of them are criminals. Some of them are here, you know, doing bad things. There's just no control or parameters around, you know, the whole asylum city thing. So it's gotten out of control. And then of course, border security. So we all know that Trump is very, very passionate about getting our border security tightened up, obviously to eliminate, you know, the problems that we have with drug trafficking, with human trafficking, with money laundering. Those are the top 3 issues that come across our southern border in particular, which is why Trump is so passionate about building this wall. Now, why he wants to build the wall is to slow the influx of people that are illegally trying to come over here, okay? I'm not talking about the people that are legally trying to come over here. I'm talking about the people that pay those coyotes, the men, not the animal, for those of you that are confused, that are paying coyotes to illegally smuggle them over the border. Some people are actually coming with children that are not theirs, okay? They're using children that are not theirs. Either they've been stolen from their families in Mexico, or their families in Mexico have sold their children to these people so that they can get some money, and these people can use the kids to get over the border because they think that if they come across the border seeking asylum and they have children, they have a better chance of staying, okay? So there's a lot of problems with just having these open borders because you can't control who is coming into the country. And then on the flip side of that, okay, for people like the Saavedra family that own this restaurant in the Bronx that are trying to do things the right way, you know, get the short end of the stick because they're stuck in the, you know, the backlog of the system just waiting to see what their status is going to be. Okay. Now, when you read this article that I'm going to link below that I read when I initially got my story to do, it doesn't tell you any of that. Okay. It also doesn't tell you. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a backstory about this family. So they started this restaurant. They do charge their customers, but in the article, it makes it seem like they give all their food away for free, which is not what they do. They have community organizations that actually donate to them so that they can keep their restaurant running. And then in turn, they have volunteers that will pick up food on certain days of the week and distribute them to people in the city of New York who are living in apartments with no electricity or water and cannot cook for themselves, or maybe homeless people who don't have a means to good, healthy food. So they are, yes, selling food in a restaurant, but they are also donating their time and services to provide free food for the community, which is amazing, okay? Regardless of everything that they have been through, they continue to give back to the community that they live in, okay? Now, another very important point to make is from the moment that they came over here illegally, okay, they did not ask for one handout, okay? They immediately got to work. Natalia and her husband immediately got to work. In fact, they started their restaurant right after, the big market crash in 2008 or 2009 when Obama was president. For those of you who think that Obama had the best economy ever, there was a big market crash. But they started this restaurant and from money that they saved from their hard work that they did here in the United States, okay? They did not ask for, what is the, welfare benefits. They weren't living off of things for free. They were paying and working for what they had. Okay. So I want to stress that as well. They weren't draining our system. They were here and giving back, and they continue to give back. Okay. Now in the article, they make it a very big point to mention that when COVID-19 hit, the family got sick with COVID-19. Now, clearly they're all fine. Nobody died. But they had to shut down their restaurant for a week because none of them could work. But they applied for some of the COVID relief for businesses and were denied because they do not meet the qualifications, because they are not U.S. citizens or hold any legal alien status, okay? So that's the law. That is what it is. Did it stop them? No. They kept going, they kept giving, and what they referred to that is their activism. Now, this is the type of activism that I love to talk about, okay? Because this is activism that actually activates something, okay? Here they are, illegal immigrants. They're doing interviews, newspapers are writing about them, Michelin write-ups are being done on their food and how amazing it is. And you would think, okay, if ICE was so hungry to just sweep up every illegal immigrant and Trump was so racist, okay, they're not hiding from anybody, okay? You would think that ICE would just swoop in there and take them all in, but no, they don't, okay? Let me tell you another story. So the son, Marco, he works in the restaurant, but he's also an artist and a self-proclaimed activist. He went to the university in the United States and studied there. And when he tells this story, not in the article that I'm linking below that I was told to read, but the research that I did as I looked into this further. But he tells a very interesting story that when Obama implemented his harsh immigration policy and opened up the ICE detention centers. Okay, so I want to point this out, that this gentleman even recognizes that Obama opened up the ICE detention centers and started locking people up. As an activist, Marco decided he was going to pose as a migrant worker, okay? Because I guess they were doing like a roundup of migrant workers in their area. So he went intentionally to where the migrant workers were, knowing that he would get rounded up, okay, but also knowing that he does have some protection because he's in the DACA program, that he can't just get like deported, okay? But he posed as a migrant worker to get detained in an ICE detention center so that for 25 days, he could feel the experience of what some people have to go through. And while he was there, he interviewed people and spoke to them. And what he heard from them was this: their stories, obviously, of how they came across, but how frustrating it is for them that at the time when he was in the ICE detention center, all these people were under the impression, because Obama said so when he ran for president, that in his first 100 days, he was going to make the Dreamers and the DACA recipients his number one priority. And they quickly realized that was a lie. Okay. So these people have been feeling jilted basically since Obama, created these detention centers, enforced the immigration policy, which is fine. I agree with enforcing the immigration policy, okay? But the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I want people to understand the truth of the matter, which is when Trump came into office, all he did was continue to enforce the immigration policy that Obama set forth. However, he had to get a lot more aggressive with it because the immigration population of illegal immigrants and crime in particular was so out of control that he, it went from ICE going to just, catch criminals to they would go to these houses to get people who had warrants, and then they would get in these houses and there were 20, 30 people living in a house or an apartment. And ICE was given the instruction to bring anybody in who didn't have legal status, okay? It didn't matter if they were breaking the law or not. So that's kind of where, the innocent people or the people that were really trying to do right here in this country would get kind of caught up, because they would be kind of looped in with these criminal, groups living with them, trying to do whatever they could to survive. And when those people would get busted, they would get pulled in with them. So I wanted to mention all of this, but another thing I wanted to mention was in 2018, a poll was taken because Trump was attempting to pass a bill that would have provided legal certainty for 1.8 million DACA recipients. So in 2018, he met with Senate and he said, I have this bill. It's going to give 1.8 million DACA recipients legal certainty. Okay. So they're going to know that they are safe and they can stay in this country. Okay. He took that bill to Senate Democrats. Okay. And they shot it down. They shot it down. They have continued to shoot it down. And it is really, really sad because Marco, the son in this family, really talks about how, it's disappointing that the Latin community has been used as a political pawn. And he says, we recognize that the Democrats have no incentive to pass a bill to protect the DACA recipients, because it's one of the main things that they use to run on every election year. I mean, both sides do. But Trump actually came into office, okay, and tried to pass a bill. Obama did not try to pass any bill. He did not even address the DACA issue while he was in office, okay? But in 2018, Trump actually brought a bill to Senate. And the bill had stipulations. The bill said, we're going to grant 1.8 million people of the DACA program legal certainty, but we need to tighten up border security. We need to get rid of sanctuary cities, and we need to, get rid of this lottery program that we have. So in essence, what he wanted to do was, instead of granting people legal immigration status based on chain migration and how many relatives they had over here, they wanted to base it on what skill sets they had to bring, to this country. Were they working? Were they going to school? Those types of things. That's what I mean when I say skill sets. Like, are they students? Are they trying to get into a school to learn? Do they have some type of, skill that we can use here in the United States? So something that they could bring to the table, which I think is perfectly acceptable, rather than just saying, hey, come one, come all. We'll pay for your health care. We'll pay for your welfare, have 30 kids. We'll pay for it all. Okay. I don't know about you, but I don't know who would choose that over let's have a structured system, and the best of the best come in. Okay, you guys have to understand, those of you who have never been outside of the country have to understand that, like, if you go to like Dubai, for instance, okay, Dubai does not let just anybody come in to Dubai for no reason. You have to stay while you're there. You have to state how long you're going to be there, what you're going to be doing, okay? And if at any time they decide you do not need to be there anymore, then you're gone. That's it, okay? And you don't get to just apply for Emirati status or citizenship, okay? The family of the Emiratis, the royal family, are really the only people that can, you have to be a true blood Emirati to get that type of status, okay? So just understand that in any other country, they would never, allow what the United States has allowed for so many years to go on. They have rules, okay? You can't just come in and do what you want and take what you want. It doesn't work that way. The United States is the only place that really lets it run like that, loosey-goosey. And I love that Trump has come in and has really wanted to put an end to that. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I really wanted to, showcase and share with you guys, because I think this is an amazing story of truly an example of the type of people and family that get caught up in the immigration back and forth push and pull that happens in the government. And it's sad that these types of people, have to sit here and not know, what the future holds for them. Okay. But it's all the more reason for us to stand behind our president and support his immigration policy and support the fact that he wants to keep our borders safe. He wants to make sure that if you do want to come into this country, that it's for the right reasons, that you're not going to bring crime, that you're not going to take from our system, and that it will allow for all these people that have been patiently waiting for many, many years to gain the citizenship that they deserve. So I hope that helped clear up a little bit on a more compassionate level my stance on how I feel about Trump's immigration policies, and also a little bit of an example of how you can read an article and it can state something a certain way, but if you look into it more, you can get a fuller picture. Let me know what you guys think in the comments box below. I'm sure many people can share a lot of stories with me that are very similar to this. And if you do have a story like that, please feel free to share it with me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, of course. And also, do not forget to go to my website at letstalkdarling.com, subscribe there so that I can get in contact with you and give you exclusive information that I can't share on here on YouTube. And also, if you stay through to the end of this video, you can go on between now and Monday, November 16th. And if you buy anything from my store on my website, enter the code LOYALTY in the checkout and you will get $5 off your order. Thank you guys so much and have a great day.